Hi everyone, I'm Jeremy from Innovation Time, and today we're with Andreas from Dagsmejan, and he will talk to us about his business and his participation to the Prix Strategis. So, hi Andreas.
Hi Jeremy, good to be here.
Can you introduce yourself, please?
Yeah, I'm Andreas Lenzhofer. I'm 52 years old. I'm from Zurich, and I'm an entrepreneur since 4 years.
And what is your business about? What is Dagsmejan?
So Dagsmejan is a sleep brand, a sleep company. So our mission is basically to improve the sleep quality by means of functional sleepwear. When you think about sleepwear, is a category that has not seen any kind of innovation over the last 50 years or so. But on the other hand, there's a lot of innovation that has taken place in the activewear and the sportswear, and we bring those innovation, these functional ideas to the world of sleepwear.
Yet sleep is one of the most important things in the good health. And for that you've worked with experts from the field and doctors, I've heard. So how did that collaboration went?
Absolutely. I mean, neither I nor my partner with whom I started the business come from the textile industry. So when we had this brilliant idea to go into sleepwear, we first had to find the right partners, and we said, if you want to do it right, we really want to bring the category into the 21st century. And for that, we basically had the idea to partner with the leading academics in 3 disciplines. One was sleep, so the science of sleep research, sleep and stress. So this was a function that was introduced by the University of Stockholm. Then we had material science. This was the EMPA, so this is an institute of the ETH of Zurich. So they brought really latest research, latest development, and also testing capabilities to the project. And the third was the University of Lucerne, which brought the competency of textile, innovation, functional design, fit and form, ergonomic design. So these 3 disciplines we brought together. Actually, we were funded by an InnoSwiss project to really go to the core, to the basics, understand what does the sleeping body really needs, what are innovative fabrics, and how can we address those needs with means of innovative fabrics, and what is the right cut for a functionally optimized pyjama.
And then how come that you and your co-founder, you were both from a more corporate business side of things. You had quite a great corporate career until Dagsmejan. So why quit and start Dagsmejan? What was the first idea and the moment that clicked and got you into entrepreneurship?
Yeah. Basically, we are a bit untypical startup founders. I mean, we don't come directly from university or out of a PhD, where most great startups are coming from. And we both had a career in corporate life. I was in strategy consulting, where I was actually 20 years in the end, many years as a partner. My co-founder, she was in marketing, so she had a great career. She was traveling around the world. She worked in 7 different countries as a marketing director, but it really had, I had this idea to become an entrepreneur for many years, and so did my partner. And then in midlife, one evening we sat together and we said, now is the time, it's now or not, now is the time to become an entrepreneur couple for the next stage of our professional life. Then we took how we started this? So we then took a very analytical approach. So we thought about what are the leading mega trends for the next 20 years, and when you think about health, well-being, personal optimization is a great topic. Sleep underneath is one of the great topics. You really see a paradigm shift at the moment. Sleep, in the corporate world, it was looked at something that is for losers. Who sleeps more than 4 hours is never going to make it. And you really see it how this turns. You see, for example, Jeff Bezos talking about if he's not getting out 8 hours of sleep, he's not getting out of bed, he's not energized, he's not creative. You will hear at the CEO of Novartis talking the same story. So it's really a paradigm shift that has taken place. People see the importance of sleep, they see how important the quality is, the duration is, the depth of sleep is. So it's really a paradigm shift that is happening. And we took this as an idea to really think about how can we improved sleep quality, and then we had inspiration from the sportswear sector, because we do a lot of sports, we spend a lot of money for functionally optimized garments, which they only need a couple of hours a year. And this doesn't make sense. On the other hand, we sleep 1/3 of our life, and normally we only use the oldest t-shirts or boxer shorts that are around. There's no function, and we should expect function in our sleepwear. This is what we thought is our great business idea.
And so, because yes, sleep is a very important, has a big momentum right now. But what you sell is not actually consulting, neither actual medicine, to properly say it, but a product, and a very techy product that is developed from European cooperation. And then the question would be why did you start your own brand, your own entrepreneurship venture? Why, from my perspective, I was just telling myself that because it's technology, and because you weren't in the field before of textile and of branding, you could have just branded the technology itself and maybe resell it to other companies and other big players in the market. Then why do you go all the way through the entrepreneurship journey for that path and building your brand, Dagsmejan?
Yeah, I mean, we thought about that, but we thought we have all the right capabilities to really develop a brand. And brand is not just the technology and product design. It's really how you package this, how you bring this to market, but also on the back end how you manage your supply chain. And it's a very complex supply chain you need to operate to bring quality or high quality products to the market. And we believe these were the right capabilities we had. And this is also our ambition, to really develop a business that has a brand, that has a standing, that has customer loyalty, where we really design all the customer interactions end to end. So this was our ambition, and this is why we started Dagsmejan as a brand.
How does the relationship with the researchers you worked with is going, and how did it start?
So basically, we had these ideas. We wrote our business plan. And then with the business plan, we walked to the EMPA, so they had an institute in Dübendorf, it's next to Zurich. And from there, they said, okay, it's an interesting idea, but our textile competency is concentrated in St. Gallen. I mean, the eastern part of Switzerland is the traditional stronghold of the textile industry. There's not that much manufacturing left, but still a lot of capabilities, and people around who really understand and have a passion about textile innovation, and great networks we could leverage. So this was how we went to St. Gallen, and this is how we started working with ETH and in that field. So and then we had some researchers on board, so we introduced the case, and they were super motivated because this was something new, something exciting, and they also, I mean, they love to be involved in something that is not just a theoretical exercise and you do some testing and then the results they never see and they never turn into something tangible. And we really had the ambition to, work with them, develop something, test it, and bring it to the market. And as such, we had quite an ambitious timeline. Sometimes we were quite ambitious for the researchers we worked with, because they have a sequential view on the world. So first we do our scientific research, then we develop something, we test it, we retest it, we write our papers, and then we have something we can bring something to the market. But we very much had a lean startup philosophy. I mean, we want to have something we can bring to the market and test very, very quickly. So we really had a lean startup mentality and methodology. So basically, as soon as we had the first proto, we started to test this. So we brought this test, actually we made a Kickstarter campaign, brought this to the market via Kickstarter, trying to get some customer feedback, and really have an iterative process, which we then fed back into the research project. But we also had Lucerne, so the University of Lucerne on board to test again fit and comfort. Again, it was another research element in the project, which was taken care by them. And then we had the University of Stockholm in the project. Again, some researchers there, which helped us really understand, test the ideas, and then test the concept later on in the process.
And then, what's the biggest challenge you faced in that journey until now?
A couple of journeys. Point one, textile is a very fickle business, in the sense that let's put it that way. We decided very early on we want to do function and performance, but use natural fibers, because we have a passion for natural and sustainable fibers, and also in our view, consumers, while they accept synthetic fibers in sportswear, in sleep it's a different story. So we said we want to do it with natural fibers. Natural fibers have very, very difficult properties to work with in the manufacturing, in the production, because by definition they're natural, they are unstable, they're inhomogeneous. So, and this means we had a lot of great ideas, we had a lot of concepts, but when we then wanted to implement it and make a fabric that was stable, that worked also in day-to-day or in night-to-night operation, in washing and in usage, we had lots of failures. So we had great ideas, great fabrics. They look great. We made first products, and then we wore it or we washed it, and then it just fell apart. So this was really, this took us probably 1.5 years from having a concept where we thought this is a concept that really helps and is the one that supports the sleep needs, till we had something that was really stable and actually delivered also in night-to-night operations, so to say.
Okay, and what about the supply chain then? Because this is a product that you try to work with natural fibers, and from what I've read on your website, like the product is based in Switzerland, and your supply chain and research is spread across Europe. So how does that work? And was there any advantage of being Swiss-based in that in the product development phase?
Product development is great to have this in Switzerland. As I say, in Switzerland, there are great capabilities around when it comes to innovation, research, testing capabilities. So this is great. Unfortunately, Switzerland hasn't great manufacturing capabilities anymore, because a lot is highly labor intense, and this is just nothing Switzerland still has the capabilities or the capacities to do. So we had to look for manufacturing partners outside Switzerland very early on. But again, we took a strategic decision. We want to manufacture entirely in Europe. Again, this has to do with sustainability. We don't want to ship fibers or fabrics around the world three times basically. It just doesn't make sense. And so we really had to find the right partners that help us develop the products and we wanted to have at the quality we wanted to have it. But the textile supply chain is relatively complex, and we do this is high-tech textile production we do. So this you don't find off the shelf somewhere. So basically we start sourcing from the fiber, then we design the yarn. So it's spinning off the yarn, which is very special what we do. Then the yarn is spun into fabrics, and again this is a very complex process. The finished fabrics, they need to be dyed, they need to be finalized, they need to be mechanically treated, and then they need to be cut out and sewn together to a garment. So these different steps we all manage end to end. And this is relatively complex because these are huge volumes we now cover, and end to end these are lead times of 6 to 8 months.
And you've copyrighted that process. And so was that part of the decision to remain European in terms of the tech itself and handling how it can be copied around the world? Absolutely. Was that part of the decision?
Absolutely. We're not a fashion brand. So we have now moved a bit from design to fashion because it needs to look good. But we are a technology company, and we want to have proprietary technologies which are protected. But in textiles, again, it's not so easy to protect products or processes. So what we do we protect selections of the processing. So we have copyrights, we have trademarked, we have proprietary technologies to produce some steps in the entire process, which was our IP, and where we really develop the value of the company as well.
Okay, and what about the financing then? Because as you've told before, the process of making those pajamas is quite labor intensive, and keeping everything in Europe also represent a cost, and you had quite a long time researching. So how did you cope with financing your business from the early days until now?
Point one, what was great for us was that the whole research and development, we got funding from InnoSwiss. So all the basic research, the testing we did, this was funded, and this was great, because this is something as a young startup you could never do without the support. So this was fantastic. But then when we started, obviously there's a huge working capital need, because when you product, you have to procure all the raw materials, all the semi-finished product. You need to pre-finance before they have a final product, which you then can sell. And so from the initial commitment of funds till you have actually the money back from the customers, it can take up to 6 months. And obviously bridging this time span was a huge challenge for us as a startup. And in particularly, we had a very nice pull from the market, so we grew pretty fast very early on. But this only amplifies the challenge. So the faster you grow, the more capital requirements you have. And so this was a big challenge for us, and this is why we decided to make some equity rounds and find some external investors to come in and support us on the journey.
Okay. Both of you co-founders were quite experienced on the corporate side of things, but yet did you require the assistance or actually receive some tips and advices or mentorship from acting business player or investors along the way? And how did you manage that relationship?
Yeah, absolutely. This is one of the most important things, and also one of the greatest things of starting a business. There's so many people around that are here to help. We had mentors right from the beginning. As I said, we had the need to have some mentorship in the textile manufacturing, finding the right sourcing partners. So this was great to start on an incubator program in St. Gallen, and through that we really had access to great mentors early on. But then further on we evolved the mentoring network, so to say. And we really made this a policy. Whenever we saw a company that we thought they are great in this kind of capability, we reached out and say, hey, we are here, we need support, and it's fantastic. So many doors went open unexpectedly. People we never had spoken with, they had never heard of us. And they opened their books, their ideas. They spent hours to explain us the tricks of the trade, so to say. And this really helped us to shortcut and accelerate massively. And I think this is also the greatest thing for also now. I also now make this a principle. Whenever somebody is reaching out to me, hey, can you help me? Tell me. I always open up my agenda, because this is the greatest thing of being a startup entrepreneur, that you get a lot of help, but now also you can give back help.
And in 2019, Bert Curtis, a famous Swiss investor, invested in your startup. The same guy who is head of Starbucks in Europe and many other successful ventures. He precedently invested in leshop.ch. So how did you perceive that in peculiar investment from such a big player in the field in Switzerland?
Yeah, Beat Good is a fascinating person. Now he's over 80, so he has been a shaper of Switzerland's economy now for the last probably 50 years. But also still with 80, he's an entrepreneur by heart. So he loves what he's doing. He loves to engage with young teams, with great ideas, and he has a tremendous value to bring to the table. And so we were very fortunate to have some introduction to him. We could pitch our idea, and he saw the potential. He saw this is an industry that is ripe for disruption. Our ideas were great. We had some great ideas how to bring it to the market. We also had some momentum at that point, and so we could motivate him to come in. It's really nice. So he's really engaged. I mean, we have a quarterly shareholder meeting. He's bringing great experience to the table.
And then the question being that how do you see yourself evolving in entrepreneurship and with your company or with this ecosystem that you're now part of 10 years from now, let's say?
I would say for a company that is now 3 or 4 years in the market, it's obviously a bit of a challenge to look 10 years out. But we have strong momentum, and we have good traction in the market. So there's no reason why not to continue what we do. I mean, we have the mission. I mean, our mission is to change the world night by night, as we said. So we are a sleepwear brand, but actually we are a sleep brand, and there's a lot of developments we can do around the topic of sleep. So we're not a fashion brand, we're a sleep brand, helping people to sleep better with many products and adjacent products we can now develop around the brand we have now developed, around the core products we have now developed. There's great opportunity for us.
And why Prix Strategis then today? Being part of the Prix Strategis and being among the finalists, why?
I mean, for us, it's always great to apply for prizes, but also the Prix Strategis, where we had the chance to discuss with a group of students, introduce our case, get their feedback, but also help them to understand a bit what entrepreneurship means in an early stage. This is always great. I mean, for me, I've been in strategy consulting for all my life. It's all about mentorship. It's all about apprenticeship model. So really help people to get their first steps on the ground in an entrepreneurial role. I thought this is a great thing. I mean, it's a give and take. I mean, I give time. I give ideas. I receive challenge. I receive ideas back. I think it's a great thing.
Because speaking of apprenticeship, that's where you actually started from. You did an apprenticeship in a Swiss bank, right? And then you did your bachelor and then your master, and then a long corporate career, and now you're an entrepreneur. Is there anything that you, knowing that this challenge is looked up by many students, is there anything that you would do, any course of action differently from your young age?
It's always difficult to.
Sure.
I try to look forward and not backward. And in the end, when you look back at your life, the decisions you took were at the moment were the right decisions.
Then, for me, any advice that you would give yourself?
For me, it's. Now we're listening. Entrepreneurship ultimately is a fantastic thing, and I love it because you're the master of your destiny. You win and you know why you win. You lose and you know why. There's no one else to blame. So ultimately, for me, it's an interesting model. I think it's the right thing for me. Ultimately, be responsible for who I am, what I want to do, where I want to go. On the other hand, I had a great life in strategy consulting. Again, I think after a study, going to strategy consulting is also a great career start, because you get exposed to so many interesting industries, companies. You work with people from all around the world. I also worked in about 20 different countries in my years in strategy consulting. And for me, I was planning maybe to be 3-4 years in strategy consulting. In the end, it was 20 years, and I enjoyed it. It's interesting, it's stimulating. You're always on the forefront. It's leading edge. It's challenging. So it's also a great thing. I probably to go back to your question, mm-hmm. I would probably stop early with consulting and become an entrepreneur earlier.
Is that something you had in mind before? Like before starting Dagsmejan, was there any previous project that you were just about to start and did not took the leap for?
Not really, but I had. Since my MBA, I always had this dream to become an entrepreneur. I still remember. One of the greatest electives in my MBA program was entrepreneurship. And we had this brilliant. I started in Cranfield, so we had a lot of people from around London talking about their business ideas. I mean, I still remember Stelios talking about EasyJet, how he funded EasyJet. I still remember the anecdote. So he was asked why is he using orange for EasyJet for the flags? What kind of research? And he said, research bullshit. I went to the airport, London Heathrow. I looked around. No one was orange, so it was orange. It's just this kind of mentality. You go there, you see it, you resolve it, you execute it. I thought this was fantastic.
And that was relevant 20 years ago, and it still is.
I always had this in my mind to do it.
Okay, Dave.